Hey guys, before we get started with today's CRM Cafe, I have one editorial correction to be made. When we were talking about the estimated revenue and the initial quarter invoice amount, I believe I misspoke. I just want to make it very clear that the estimated revenue is the total expected billings of one full year from the first invoice. And the initial quarter invoice amount is the total expected billings for the first quarter of that contract or agreement. Hope that clears things up. And here is today's CRM Cafe. Enjoy. Good afternoon. Thanks for you guys joining. Appreciate you being here. And for everybody else, thanks for watching the recording. I'm Sean Moore, and I am going to go through opportunity best practices today on our CRM Cafe. So real quickly, just a quick introduction on what an opportunity is. So an opportunity is a record in Dynamics which represents potential revenue from a customer or prospect. Some keys to opportunities are a deal level record. So this represents specific sales engagements. So what are they looking for? What are we doing with them? They're also linked to account and contact records. So every opportunity has obviously a contact and an account that is associated with it. We try to make sure that the contact is the primary account owner on the account. Sometimes that's not always the case, which is fine as well. And then our opportunities are stage-based. So they go through a progression, and that was the CEP program we put together and launched back in, I think it was April. So you have validate, propose, negotiate, and close. And we'll go over all of those here in just a little bit. There's some common fields within an opportunity that are pretty important. So the topic, that's going to be the short description of what the opportunity is. For example, ATI nursing renewal. I feel like a lot of times people use the cohort as that opportunity name, but just as long as you're being somewhat specific and consistent with the descriptions you use for that topic is definitely something that we want to do. Estimated revenue. So this is the projected value of the deal. The estimated close date, obviously the expected date the deal will be won or lost. The sales stage, we just talked about that, CEP process, and we'll go over these in more detail. And then the probability. What's the likelihood that this deal will close? Now, just a reminder, this is not where the deal is in progress, in stage. This is the percentage likelihood we feel this deal is going to close. All right, so now we'll go over the opportunity overview. We'll start with the life cycle and talk about a couple of best practices. So an opportunity is either manually created by the rep or it can be created by a qualified lead. Once you start managing these opportunities through the sales process, you'll go through the CEP process. And again, we'll go over that in a minute. Then once you're done and you've won that opportunity or closed or lost that opportunity is when you will mark that as won or closed or won or lost. And just keep in mind that for each one of those won or lost, there is a reason. So with the loss, there's reasons on why we've lost this opportunity, whether it be price, competitor, or something of that nature. And we are currently in the building process of providing won reasons. So those will be coming. So look for an enhancement update on those soon. Some best practices for managing leads. You want to keep the sales stages updated as accurately as possible. So as you're moving through these, make sure you're going back and updating what stage they're in. Try to enter realistic close dates and revenue dates. This is really important for pipeline visibility and forecasting. A lot of times we don't know exacts because maybe the head count's going to change, but try to be as accurate as possible. Link the correct account and the contact just for context and for reporting. That's important. And again, the contact very well could be the primary account owner, or it could be somebody else on the account. But just make sure that it's linked to the correct person. Again, use a consistent naming convention just so we can easily track these and filter them. It makes it a lot easier for the other people in the orders and billings team and um, the assistants in the CSS roles to know what each name means. So when they're taking a look at it in a view, it's easy for them to determine what they're looking at. And then be sure to close opportunities as quickly as possible when a deal is finalized, just to maintain the data integrity so we know this is how long it took for this opportunity from start to finish. And we're not waiting a couple weeks or even a month to close won that or close lost that. So our opportunities have multiple different types, and this really helps us analyze and better forecast, where our business is coming from. So we'll go through these real quick. So cohort add is one opportunity type. So in this instance, you would only use this if a customer is adding a cohort under a current agreement or contract, or let's say a large institution is adding a new campus or location. You would use this. So complete renewals, that's just exactly what it means. It's a complete bundle that is just being renewed. Keep in mind, this does not include any amendments for current contracts that are outside of the contract. So like if they're purchasing a new innovation on top of the complete, that amendment would not be this, it would be the new bundle upgrade. And then the new bundle upgrade, so this should be captured any incremental purchases. This includes full spectrum wins, so new business bundles, new business STOs, bundle upsells, bundle STO upsells. Then we have non-complete bundles that are not renewal, or that are renewal or repeats. So these are basically renewals or upsells that are not the completes. So this is commonly going to be STO products that we need to confirm each year. For an example, post-grad products would be this reason or this type. There's a type for opportunity for quotes. So this is generally only used in the early stages of the sales process. This opportunity type should never be used for opportunities that are won. This is a type that you would use as you're opening the opportunity. Now, I feel like once you get to the point to where you're going to possibly win this, we would update this to whatever it would match above. And then we have special pricing increase. So this is on bundles where there's nothing material that's changed other than you're upping the price or lowering the price. Typically, this is going to be a price increase, I guess, because that's what it's called, price increase. This will be the incremental value for the special pricing that's coming in. So that'll be the determining. So, if they're upping the price, the only amount that would be put in there is the difference between the old price and what the new price is. So opportunities have some pretty core fields as well. We talked a little bit about some of the like fields earlier. We have 4 really core fields that are very important for accuracy for forecasting, and then also for our pipeline. So estimated revenue is very important. This is going to be the total expected billings for the calendar year the opportunity will close in. So an example is this. Let's say you have a contract for a 3-year complete bundle. The opportunity you put in there would be for that first year, the only year the expected billings for that year are supposed to be. You would not include. So let's say the contract's $300,000 and it's a 3-year deal. So you're going to bill $100,000 each year. Your opportunity would be put in for $100,000, and then the next year you would do another opportunity, and so on and so forth. The initial quarter invoice amount, this is going to be the total expected billings for that quarter when it's supposed to close. So let's say you have a 2 installment payment, and one of your installments is going to be closing in second quarter, and the next installment is going to be closing in the third quarter. So let's say it's $20,000 total, the $10,000 in the first quarter, $10,000 in the third quarter, Your opportunity total would be for 20,000, and the initial quarter invoice amount would be the 10,000. Estimated invoice date. This is obviously the expected date the opportunity will be won. Let's try to be as accurate as possible here. And this is another very important one for forecasting accuracy and pipeline. And then the number of students, expected number of students, the opportunity will be billed. This is one that's probably a lot harder to really nail down, but we try to be as accurate as possible because these all four of these are very critical to achieving our accurate forecast and our pipeline management. So yeah, it's just something to really think about and make sure you're intentional about putting in these amounts. All right, now we'll talk about the opportunity stages, or that CEP that we discussed. So the opportunity stages, these follow the CEP process, so the customer engagement process. And again, this was an initiative that was rolled out back in April, I believe it was. And it was twofold. It was sales processes, so the activities that sales does in each stage, and then the stage gates. So what it takes for you to move from one stage to another. And what this really geared to help us do was improve our forecasting accuracy and allow for more efficient sales processes, which will in turn drive higher wins and command premium pricing, because you know kind of better what your process is within the CEP stages. Within each stage, you have some fields that are required and that have to be entered. So in the validate stage, you can see here number of students, estimated revenue, estimated invoice, has the institution ID been completed, commit percent, meeting date. So those 6 are your required fields, and then the 2 below are not required. The stage gate, or what you have to put in here to move to the next stage, which is proposed, is the meeting date. So basically, you are working with the client and you've come to an agreement that, okay, we're going to have a meeting on this date and we're going to do a demo and I'm just going to have a big presentation for you. That would be the date you would put in, and then you could move that to proposed. Now, once in proposed, this is when you will be creating the quote. So it'll ask you, have you activated the quote or not? If you haven't activated, if it doesn't need a quote, like some STOs don't need quotes. So I think there's some T's products that don't need quotes. Then you have a reason to put down. This will be where the initial order, the initial quarter invoice amount would go. And then just to make sure, did you validate the installments if installments were necessary? The estimated invoice date will carry over from the validate stage, but you have the opportunity to update that here. Commit percent is another, it will carry over along with meeting date. And again, you can update those if you have a second meeting date that you'd like to put on there. And then the stage gate for this one and propose is submit approved pricing. So this is once you've had the meeting and they've asked for a quote and you've submitted that quote to the client, you would put that date in there, and then you would move it to the negotiate stage. And in the negotiate stage, pretty much everything else is going to carry over. It looks like the number of students, yes, it was actually validated as well. So all of these fields except for verbal agreement carry over. And the verbal agreement is going to be another date field. And this date is going to be when the client said, yes, I'm ready to buy. And at that point is when you would send the quote or the contract for signature. And then once you put that date in there for the verbal agreement, you can move that over to close. And then once you're ready to close, follow normal practice and request the closure, put your op closure notes in and send it over to orders and billing. All right, real quickly, we'll just go over how an op is created. And for those that can come look at this later, I will also share this PowerPoint, and it has a video here to show you how to go through and create an opportunity. Ultimately, opportunities can be created either by a lead that's qualified or manually through an account. Now, in order to create an opportunity, navigate to the account you want to create that opportunity off of. you would click on the lead and opportunity section of the account record. Once you're in that section, there's a spot to do new opportunity. Once you click that, it will bring up your quick create to where you can enter all the required fields, and you can see the required fields here. And once you've entered all that information, you would click save, and that would create the opportunity for you. Now, while there's only 5 required fields, best practice is to enter as much information as you have. That way, we have plenty of details and everything that we need on that account or on that opportunity. Now I'm going to go through and just show you a quick demo within CRM so you guys can see what it actually looks like. All right, so you see here I'm in an opportunity, and we talked about the topic. So it looks like this person uses a cohort name for the topic. If you look here, this is the opportunity type field. So this is where your options are to do whatever type of opportunity this is. And again, we have our validate, our propose, our negotiate, and close stages. And this is where those fields are that we discussed about what you have to enter into each stage. We'll just go through and show you what they look like. And then down here along the right-hand side are those fields that we talked about that are very important for forecasting and for pipeline. So the number of students, estimated invoice date, estimated revenue, and initial quarter invoice amount. So that is it for today. Were there any questions from those who joined us today?
I'm all good.
Good deal. That's good. I must have explained myself well.
Sure did. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks again, guys, for coming and watching. And again, anybody that is watching this video, appreciate you watching. And I'll be here for the rest of the hour to field questions from anybody that joins.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
Thanks, Charlie. See you.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Andrea. How's it going?
Hey, good. So I reached out to Andy as well about that estimated revenue question. And I feel like he's saying something a little bit different than what you had said. And so I was just trying to see maybe.
That's hilarious.
Because I feel like everybody just keeps telling me different things. And so I was just like, okay, like, where does the, where's the deciding person type of thing?
Yeah.
So he said, the estimated revenue field should be your best estimate for the incremental billings the one opportunity will create in a full year.
Correct. Yeah, that is.
And then he said, okay, so 1 full year.
Yeah.
He said for the current calendar year, you use the first invoice amount and the remaining installments for the year to get to that number. Okay, so
yeah,
that makes sense.
That makes sense. So basically what he's saying is estimated revenue is what you think that opportunity will do in a current calendar year, right? So like if
no, he's saying a full year. We're creating a full year. He said the calendar year should be the first invoice amount and the remaining installments for that year. He's saying it's 1 full year from wherever that invoice date is. Because then later on, I said like, okay, so 1 full year from the first invoice or when the office closing. He said it should be 1 year from the first invoice date.
Yeah, I don't know.
And so he just gave me that answer today, this afternoon.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I wanted to pop in and let you know because I've been kind of chatting with different people, you and Denise and Lauren, and I haven't gotten around to Scott yet. I think Scott's been talking to Lauren, and so I'm just trying to think. I think we just kind of somebody needs to kind of like get everybody together essentially and say this is it. So because I feel like everybody keeps telling me different things. So that's all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't disagree. It's just, I don't know, his wording is bad in what he gave me. And that's where it's confusing to me now too, because I asked Matt Costello, and so his exact quote was estimated revenue is total dollars we expect for the calendar year that it'll close in. And then what I got from Andy too is estimated revenue should be based on the total incremental billings that we would expect a one deal to generate in the calendar year. So like for me, the two people that have said what it is have said calendar, but
So
Andy's telling you not. It's like 365 days from this date to the next, right? So if they
yeah,
signed a
I can
contract
pull up this
today, yeah, if you
yeah
would, that'd be great.
to show you kind of what the wording of it because I tried to clarify. I said so like for example, well, let me see. I said, so one full year from the first invoice or when the op is closing. And I gave him an example. I said, I'm seeing a few ops where the revenue doesn't start until basically 2026. He said it would be from I'm guessing from a year from the first invoice date. Yeah,
Yeah.
because when I first asked him, he said a full year. And I was just like, okay, well, what does that mean? So I was trying to clarify, okay,
Yeah.
where is it from? Because I also chatted with Denise, and Denise told me a year. I was just like, well, is it a year? Is it a calendar year? Is it what is it? But then I think when he clarified at the bottom, when he said for the current calendar year, and that's when I was like, oh, he means like a full year. He said for the current calendar year, they're
Oh,
using the first invoice amount and the remaining installments for the
for
year to
that
get to
year.
that number, to get to
Gotcha.
the current calendar year.
That would make
So,
sense. So when he says calendar year, he means 12 months, even though it's not what I assumed calendar year meant. Like when I hear calendar year, I feel like that's like if I'm looking at the rest of this calendar year, that's the rest of
yeah,
September, October, November, December. But
yeah,
he meant an entire calendar year, so 365 days. Okay, that makes sense. So yes, I would say that that is the case. Estimated revenue is the total revenue that will be generated in 365 days.
yes. Mhm.
And
That's what it
then,
seems like.
yeah. And then, so what was the other one that he said?
And then he said for the current calendar year,
Yes,
we
that would
use
be, yeah. So
that
that
would
is
be
what,
2025. Yeah.
right. So what he called that when he sent it to me was the in-year revenue, which is the first invoice and then any other invoices or installments for the rest of that year.
Yes, for
Okay.
that year,
Yeah.
for 2025.
Okay, cool. Yep. So I think we're good. I just was confused on the calendar year and yeah. So we're on the same page, I think.
Okay. So is Andy the person who like decides, I guess, like, I
Yeah.
guess is like, okay, so he's kind of the this is the definitive answer person, right?
Yes. He is the voice
Okay.
of truth. He's the one that got with sales leaders and they said this is what it is. Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. I will probably also share that with Lauren too to let her know because she was asking
Cool.
me and I was just like, I don't know.
Why are you asking me? You're the manager.
And I think it's because different people have or I think it's changed. I think that's why
Mm,
she was asking, well, she wasn't really asking me. She was asking me more so what people were doing because I'm
mm,
talking to more of the reps. So it wasn't like a hey, like what do you think this year?
mm.
No, it wasn't like that at all. It was more
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
a hey, like what are people doing? So that
Yeah.
was kind of what she was asking me.
What's the
And I
word on the
think
street? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Again, I think it's change is what so because I have noticed that people who have been here longer, they're doing one thing, and people who've been here less time, like they're doing something else.
Yeah,
So
that makes
that's,
sense
I have
because
noticed a little bit of a trend there. So
yeah, that makes sense because that's why I have all this information is because he reached out to me and said, "Hey, we need better training on this for the reps." And I was like, well, I would love to train on this, but I don't even know what the definition is. So can you please provide that for me? So
yeah,
it makes sense. And that's one of the reasons I did this today. So I guess I messed up and I need to give an amendment to the estimated revenue definition.
no
So
worries, no worries. You can
cool.
just, adjust the recording, and
Yeah, exactly.
just
That's the
well, there were two people. There was Charlie, and I missed the other lady's name.
Michelle Davis. Yeah.
And Michelle, yeah. And
Yeah.
just let them know, and you're good to go.
It's a great idea.
Quick fix.
For sure. All right, Andrea.
All right, thank you, Sean. I appreciate
Thanks. No problem.
it.
All right. Bye.
Okay, all right, bye.